going to start the API Connect. So before we get into the API Connect, first let's try to understand what is the need of API. Okay. So far we created in the data for what we created mostly web services, right? Web services, right? Mostly we created the web services in the data power. But but from the last few years, so if you try, okay, let me open my PPT. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, what is a business value? First, let's try to understand what is an API. So API, if you look at the traditional definition, like API, the API stands for Application Programming Interface. API stands for Application Programming Interface. So if you look at the technical definition, API is a set of functions that provide some business or technical capability, and that can be called by application by using defined protocol. So this is a technical definition. Okay, so API is nothing but it will have some operation. So if you look at the let's assume that we created one calculator API. So whenever we say it's a calculator, it will have some operations like addition, multiplication, division, and subtractions, right? So those are nothing but the operation. API is composed of operation which are offered in one of the following styles. So in one API, it contains some operations. So however, we have a two kind of web services like SOAP and the rest. So when it comes to API also, we have two kind of APIs. One is SOAP API and other is a REST API. So what is the difference between SOAP and REST? Already we know SOAP is very lighter weight, heavier weight than the REST, and REST consumes JSON and XML as well, whereas SOAP web services consumes, sorry, SOAP APIs consume only the SOAP messages. Okay. So this is about the API. First, let's try to understand what is the business value of API. So before I get into this, PPT, so let me explain you some real-time examples so that you will understand better. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me take some real-time examples so that you will understand better. So let's take any industry. So day by day we use the banking, right? So let's assume that let's assume banking industry. So let's assume that when we are 90s, in between prior to 1990, so when there was no internet, right? So suppose how the banking industry working there. So every customer, when there was no internet, so how the banking industry work, because everybody, we need to, suppose if you wanted to check your account balance or if you wanted to transfer your money, so what we need to do, so we need to visit the bank. So for every small thing, we need to, if you wanted to check the balance or if you wanted to transfer funds to somebody else, so everything you need to visit the bank. But once we have an internet, so then bank, in order to serve better to their customers, so banking industry decided that they started developing their banking websites, right? So they started developing their banking websites. So once we have the internet, so as a customer, so once we have the internet banking, I'll get my username and password. So in order to check more, for most of the activities, I don't need to go to the bank, right? So if you wanted to transfer some using the internet banking, if you wanted to transfer money to somebody else, or if you wanted to issue for checkbook, or if you wanted to check your account balance, so for all these things, I don't need to visit the bank. So then with that, so the customers are, they are serving the customers in a better way, right? So once we have an internet using the web banking, internet banking, right? So but from once we from let's assume that once we are in the 2014 onwards, so this smartphones are very popular, right? I think yeah. So from 2013 place, so from 2013 place, so everybody, the smartphones industry is very popular, and everybody was using the smartphones in their mobiles, right? So now and internet also very cheap, right? So now bank industry had decided that, so in order to serve better to their customers, again they come up with the mobile banking applications. Suppose if the customer wants to use internet banking, so what are the challenges we have? The customer should have either desktop or laptop. He should have an internet connection to it. It is very rare case. Most of the people will not have all these things, right? Internet, laptop or desktop. It is very tough. But nowadays everybody using the smartphones, right? So again, banking industry thought that, okay, in order to serve better to their customers, again they came up with the mobile application. So nowadays everybody using the mobile application, so that everybody can use their mobile banking applications, right? So why how this is possible? Now everything is connecting to everything, so right? So your smartphone, your TV, your fan, everything is connecting to your internet, so that is called the IoT, right? Using the API, so we can control. So if you look at this picture, so here, so in between 93 to 93, so 93, so there was only internet, web. So every organization, so you can see my mouse point right? So every organization is connecting, exposing their business information in the websites, right? So this is prior to the smartphones revolution. So now let's jump onto this picture. So if you look at this picture, organization is connecting to everything using the APIs. Organization is connecting to everything using the API. This is a business value of API, right? So now let's assume that I think you understood how the mobile application, you may get a mobile application, how the mobile applications are working using the APIs only. Let me show you one more, one more picture so that you will understand better. Okay. So now every day, nowadays, everything is a mobile application, right? If you take banking industry, every bank has their mobile applications, right? So how these mobile applications are working, let me explain you here. So prior to that, before this mobile application, every bank has their banking website, which means there are some web services, they expose their web service in the website, right? So how the mobile applications are working. So if you take anything, let's take any industry or anything like payment gateway or traveling. Okay. So what they're doing, they're exposing their web services in the form of APIs, and these APIs are consuming by the mobile applications. Directly mobile applications will invoke one API platform. That API platform invokes the actual web services. So that's a concept of API. Okay, I hope you clearly understood about this picture, right? So let's try to understand what are the different types of API we have. So I think so far you understood about the what is the business value of API and what is meant by the API and how many types of API like SOAP and REST, right? Now let's try to focus about the API types. So mainly we have three APIs. Mainly we have three types of API. One is public, protected, private. Public means open to all. So what are the APIs you are accessing without any charges? Those are called the public APIs, which means they are available in the internet. So protected APIs, what is meant by this protected? Let's assume that we have an organization called X, and whenever we will have some business partners. Let's take any company like John Deere. So John Deere is a tractor manufacturing company, right? So but in order to manufacture one tractor, so it needs to have some, it will have some business partners, like let's take a tires company. So the John Deere will not manufacture the tires, right? So there are different other companies which they manufacture truck. The famous is MRF, right? So here for the John Deere, let's assume that MRF is the like business partners. So some APIs they will have access to the partners. Some API they will have access to the partner. Those are called the protected APIs. And now let's talk about the private APIs. So private APIs is within the organization. Let's assume that we have an X organization. So that API will have access to only my employees within that organization. So that's called the private APIs. I hope you're clear with the three kind of API. Let me recap once. So we have three types of API: public, protected, and private. So public means open to all, protected means open to partners, and protected means within the organization. So these are the three different types of APIs we have. So now let's try to understand this API economy. As a human being, without profit, we don't do anything, right? When it comes to the business, so without profit, nobody will do nothing, right? So by creating this API, we are getting some extra income with this API. When as a human beings, whenever we are creating something, with the intention of to get some extra profit, right? So that's a human being intention. In the same way, so there is a concept called API economy. So whenever we are creating an API, with that we will get some extra benefit. So that is called the API economy. So let me tell you some real time examples so that you will understand better, right? So let's take some simple example. So I think you are familiar with the Swiggy, Zomato, and Uber Eats, right? So which is very popular nowadays, right? So let's assume that before we don't have any Swiggy or Zomato, right? So let's assume that before we don't have any of these food providing mobile applications. So as a human, let's assume that I'm a software employee. So I worked very hard in my office, but I didn't had my dinner. So I rushed to my home, but I'm unable to have anything. I'm unable to cook anything, but I'm feeling very hungry. But I wanted to have an outside. But whenever you wanted to have your food outside, but there are a lot of criteria will comes into the picture. So from your home, your restaurant might be very far, or there might be a traffic. So due to this factor, if you even you wanted to have the food outside, but you were unable to have it because the traffic might be the case, or the distance from your home to the restaurant, or your patience also. At that moment, whatever we had, just whatever we have in kitchen, just we will have it, right? But now let's assume a case when we have this Zomato or Swiggy. So whenever I feel hungry, whenever I wanted to have my tasty food in my from the from my favorite restaurant, so even whenever thought comes into mind, simply I'm opening my mobile application, Zomato or Swiggy. I'm choosing my favorite restaurant, and from the favorite restaurant, so I'm choosing my favorite dish. I'm ordering within the 30 minutes, it is getting delivered to your doorstep, right? So now once we have this application, mobile application, so obviously the restaurant owners are getting extra profit and the delivery boys also getting some employment, right? So here using this mobile application, which means the Swiggy or Zomato, the obviously the restaurant owners get some extra profit. And apart from that, the delivery boys also they'll get some money, right? So this is called the API economy. So before we don't have this food provide applications like Zomato, Swiggy, even we wanted to have outside, there were a lot of criteria, we don't have it. But once we have this, so whenever you're getting, so mostly the bachelors are using nowadays, very popular, this Swiggy, Zomato, right? So once we have this food providing application, obviously the restaurant owners are getting extra profit and this delivery boys also, right? So that is called the API economy. Using the APIs, they're getting some extra profit. So that is called the API economy, right? But let me take this picture. So let me explain. So in our example, what the restaurant owners are doing here. So obviously for the restaurant, their business asset is their menu, right? For every restaurant, the business asset is their menu. So what they are doing here, the Zomato, let's take Zomato. Zomato is a third party applications, right? Zomato will have some partners. Zomato will tie up with some restaurant owners. So the restaurant owners, they'll keep their menu in Zomato so that the real-time consumer, the end user, I'll consume that using that mobile application. So I'm consuming that restaurant business assets, which means the food, right? So that is a flow here. See here, business assets, they'll expose their business, I mean the APIs, and those APIs will be consumed by the mobile application, and from the mobile application, end user will consume that. So that is called the API economy. If you look at the API economy traditional thing, where companies exposes their digital business assets in the form of APIs to third parties with the goal of unlocking additional business value through creation of new assets. So this is called the API economy. So simply remember that with the creation of APIs, obviously there is a more business. They're getting some extra profit. That is called the API economy. I hope you clearly understood about this example better. Now let's jump.
Yes.
Now let's jump onto the API life cycle. So API life cycle. Let me tell you about this. So in API life cycle, mainly we have four parts. In API lifecycle, mainly we have four parts. One is create, second one is run, third one is manage, and fourth one is secure. So this API can be created anywhere, but API has a life cycle that is create, run, manage, secure. What is meant by the create? So like depends upon our business requirement, we need to create the API. So that's nothing but the create. Run is nothing but once we create the API, so we need to test all the test cases, right? So whether it is working as per our expectations or not. That is called run. Manage is nothing but so once if there is an existing API, we need to manage that API. Managing is nothing but like we need to secure managing is nothing but like existing API we need to manage. It's like a kind of support. So that can be done. And secure. So secure means so if API there are three kind of APIs, right? Like public, protected. So if you wanted to provide some security, so this security, these are the main four parts of API lifecycle. One is create, run, manage, secure. So these all parts, which means the complete API life cycle can be managed in one product, that is in IBM API Connect. Okay, the entire life cycle of API can be done in one product, that is in IBM API Connect. Okay, so that's why here in between we mentioned the API Connect. The complete life cycle of API can be done in one product, that is in IBM API Connect. Okay, so first let me talk about this API introduction. As discussed before, we can expose our business model using APIs with API Connect, right? So we are exposing our business models in the APIs. That API can be done in one product, that is an API Connect, right? So that's about the first point. And we can create, run, manage, secure the APIs at the same place, that is called the API lifecycle using the API Connect. And in addition to that, so before explaining this third point, let me explain you some real-time example, which is Amazon Prime. Our famous thing is Netflix, right? So in every mobile, so we are having an application called Netflix, right? So the important where we can watch our favorite movies, web series, or etc. Right? So whenever we open that Netflix, so first there are some plans, right? In the Netflix there are some plan, depends upon the features, they'll put some plan, and in order to access those features of the plan, we need to subscribe. Let's assume that English Telugu web services 99 per month, or English 199 per month. So depends upon the feature, so the Netflix will charge some money based per month, right? So how they are running in the same in the API Connect also, how they are reflecting in the mobile apps means in the backend we can create in the API Connect, we can create a product, and in the product we can create some plans. So it depends upon future. Suppose if the consumer wanted to access this feature, so depends upon our business, we need to create the plan. Like in order to in order to subscribe to that plan, first they need to pay some money like 99 per month, USD dollar, INR. So those things, everything we can create in the API Connect. So that's important. In addition to that, we have a product plans and the developer portal to expose our business. So developer portal is meant for the API consumer. I'll talk more about this later now. Okay, but you understood that. So what is meant by the product plans? So plans are nothing but like depends upon the feature. The business, we can provide some prices like 99 per month, something like that. Okay, that's nothing but the product plan. So in the API Connect also we can create them. And so the fourth point is we can use API Connect in two ways. Yeah, one is SaaS and other is a management servers. So here we worked on the data power, right? Data power is only on the, just do it. Yeah. Yeah, so here, so for data power we are used in the on premises, which means in our in our computer, in our network we installed it, right? So that is called the management server on premises. So the beauty of the API Connect is, so Amazon, I think you are familiar with that. IBM has some its cloud. Earlier we call, formerly we know it as a Bluemix, but now we are calling it as IBM Cloud only. Okay, in the IBM Cloud they are providing the API Connects as a SaaS. SaaS means software as service. SaaS means software as service. IBM Bluemix Cloud. Now we are not calling it as a Bluemix. Now it's IBM Cloud. Okay. So API Connect we can have in both. Either we can install in our local network or in the cloud also we can have. Okay. Based on our business number of calls per API in the cloud also we have some plans based on business requirement. So we need to choose our plan. Okay. And the next step is, yeah, so API Connect components. So let me talk about this. So here we have four, mainly we have, first for timing let's ignore this fourth point, analytics. Now let's talk about only these three points. API manager and the API CMC. The first one is API manager and the second one is API CMC. Here the CMC stands for the cloud management console. The CMC stands for cloud management console, and the third one is the developer portal. So let me explain you about the API manager first. So however in the data power, we have two roles, right? One is the administrator role and the other one is the developer role. So for administrator role we can use only the default domain, and for the developer role we can create another domain, and based on our business requirement we need to create the services in that, right? So similarly for in the API Connect as well, so we have two roles. One is the developer role and the other is the administrator role. So this API manager is meant for the API developers. API manager meant for the development roles where you can create your APIs. Okay. So API manager meant for the API developers where you can create, secure all the development kind of activities for the APIs can be done in the API manager. And what is meant by the CMC? Here the CMC stands for Cloud Management Console, which is meant for the administrator. It is similar to the data power default domain. Like if whenever you are creating a user, you're creating the users and application domains in the default domain, right? In the same way, in the CMC, you can create the users who wanted to access your API manager, and you can create domains. In here, there is a concept called domain in the data power, right? So here there is the concept is similar to the domain in the API, and we call it as organization. That is called the provider organization. We can create some provider organization. Provider organization is similar to the domains in the data pool. Okay, those things can be done in the CMC. Here in a high level what you can say, CMC is mainly meant for the administration purpose, where you can create the user accounts and organizations and everything. Organizations are similar to the API domains in the data pool. Okay, so now let's talk about the developer portal. So what are the APIs you are creating in the API manager? We need to publish to the one runtime environment. So that runtime environment here in the API Connect we call it as a catalog. Catalog is nothing but like environment, like dev, test, production. So what are the APIs you are deploying? So in the general term we call it as a deployment, right? But when it comes to the API Connect, so we can use a term called publishing. So what are the API you are creating? Once you publish to this to catalog is nothing but one runtime environment, like environment. So then for each catalog they will have a unique developer portal. So from the what are the APIs you are publishing to the catalog? So catalog will have a developer portal. From the developer portal, end users can consume your APIs. So in the high level, what we can say, developer portal is meant for the API consumers. Developer portal meant for the API consumers. So analytics. So analytics is within the it will show in the API manager, but I created as a different component because analytics is nothing but, so in the data pool we don't have this feature, but the beauty of the API Connect is we have an analytics. So in order to have the analytics within the data pool, we need to purchase some third-party tools like Splunk and AppDynamics. But the beauty of the API Connect is within the API Connect itself, they will provide the component analytics. Within the analytics, what you can see generally, like in the production, like suppose if you take production, so per each day, how many calls, how many API calls we got, and what are the success call, how many success call and how many failure calls, and what is the minimum response time, and what is the average response time, and what is the maximum response time. So likewise, so these all statistics, it will show in a graph manner, however you wanted to represent, whether you are going for pie chart is nothing but like circle, right? A graph is nothing but like a vertical horizontal graph. I think you might familiar with the graph and the chart. So however, we wanted to represent those statistics, like how many calls and what are those errors, how many success calls, what is the minimum response time, what is the average response time, and how for each API, how many calls, how many success calls, how many failure calls. So likewise, these all statistics we can see in the analytics. So these are the four important components of API Connect. Is it clear? The four important components.
Yes.
So let me recap it. Let me repeat it once again. So in the API Connect, mainly we have four components. One is API Manager, and the second one is API CMC. Third one is the developer portal, and fourth one is the analytics. API Manager is mainly meant for the API developers, where we can create our APIs and product plans, whereas API CMC mainly meant for the administrator, where we can create the users and organizations and everything. It is mainly meant for the administration activities, and the developer portal is mainly meant for the API consumers. So whatever the APIs we created, we publish, so those will be available to the end user. So from the default domain, sorry, from the developer portal, they can consume our APIs. And analytics is nothing but like it will represent all your statistics of your APIs. So those things we can see in the analytics. So these are the four important components of the API Connect. Okay, I hope you clearly understood about these four components. Let's jump on to the next slide. So I wanted to explain you this later. At this moment, if I'll explain, you might confuse. Yeah, advantages of the API. So the product is well integrated with IBM other products. Like IBM other products means Data Power and IAB, those things. Okay, its ability to interact with IBM Secure Gateway and other integration products in the IBM. We have a Secure Gateway, so that is also we can integrate. But I will talk to you that what is meant by the Secure Gateway later now. So it is easy to confer security and generate API keys. So in the API count, we can provide this API, we can secure our APIs using the different ways that can be done. If you compare with all other products in the API count, that can be done very easily. And policy configuration is pretty much easy, like in the Data Power. So for each specific action we are using some actions, right? So there we can call it as actions, right? For transform action, in the transform action you can write the code, and for sign action, verify action, each action will have some specific functionality in the Data Power, right? So in the same way, in the API Connect as well, so we have some objects related to the action, but here we call them as policies. The API Connect policies are similar to the actions in the Data Power, right? API Connect policies are similar to the actions in the Data Power. Okay, so here we use a different term called policy. Those policy configurations are pretty much easy in the Data API Connect. And now let me talk to you. Let me tell you about this fourth point more clearly. Since it uses the Data Power as a runtime, it has a capability of using Data Power policies along with the gateway scripts. Well, let me tell you about this one. So in the project, in the most of the projects, so already we know the importance of the Data Power, which is a secure gate, which is meant for the security. Whenever I explain the architecture, in most of the architecture, the Data Power sits in the DMZ, right? So whereas this API Connect sits in the private network, whereas API Connect sits in the private network, since the Data Power sits in the DMZ. So that's why within the API Connect, there is no much security capabilities. So that's why we use Data Power as a secure gateway for the API Connect. What is meant by the secure gateway? Simply the traffic will come first to the Data Power. From the Data Power, we will route the traffic to the API Connect. So that is meant by the secure gateway. So in the Data Power, because we have a lot of security capabilities within the Data Power, that's why Data Power sits in the DMZ, right? So in most of the projects, so we use the Data Power as a secure gateway for the API Connect. And suppose if you wanted to make use of some Data Power capabilities in the API Connect, also we can use it. So there is some process. You can create a rule in the Data Power, and that rule you can make use of that rule in the API Connect. So those are called like we can call as custom policies. Within the API Connect, we have some policies, but also we can have the custom policies from the Data Power. Okay, I'll show you that in that as well. Okay. And what are the features of the API Connect? End-to-end API management platform. Okay, let me tell you about this API Connect. API Connect is the 5th version. So before this 5th version, so we call it as the API management. So IBM has strategy to change their product names. Like data policy remains constant. Earlier WMB, one is IAB, now it says. Like depends upon the version IBM used to change their product names. Okay. So earlier this data API Connect also we formally call it as API management. Till 4th version we call it as API management. But from the 5th version onwards, we are calling it as a API Connect. So end-to-end API management and features also include like create, run APIs, manage, secure, socialize, analyze, and monetize. The socialize, analyze, monetize, which is nothing but that can be done in the analytics part. Flexible deployment and licensing. Deployment is also pretty much simple. Okay. And let me in this PPT, I didn't include competitors of the API Connect, but let me tell you about the competitors. So what are the competitors we have in the market for the API Connect? So the main nowadays the other popular API platform product is Apigee. I think you heard about this Apigee, API. So recently Apigee was developed by the Apigee, but recently it is acquired by the Google. So since it is acquired by the Google, so nowadays it is also more popular, but still most of the people will use IBM itself because in this middleware like in the integration zone, IBM products are very popular like Data Power, IAB, BPM, now it's calling as BA, and VAS, WebSphere. So these are the most popular products in the integration zone. So obviously it's like suppose if you're as a customer, so I trusted one. Let's take any mobile. Like from the beginning, Samsung is my favorite mobile. Even we have a good products in the market, but still I have a faith in the Samsung, and based on my experience, still I believe in only Samsung, right? So in general, the client also same. Since in the middleware, so IBM products are very popular, so most of the customers, clients will use the IBM API Connect only. Okay, so this is the toughest competitor now for the API Connect. So far I've explained about the introduction of APIs, like mainly what we discussed, what is the API, what are the different types of API, and what is the business value of API, what is the API economy, what is the API lifecycle, and introduction to API Connect, and advantages of API Connect, API Connect components. So far I explained these things, right? So is it clear, or do you have any questions still?
Yes, it's clear, Shikhar.
Clear.
So if you require, I'll share this PPT with you. Yeah, so now, so I think you clearly understood about the API Connect. So as we discussed, API Connect we can have in two ways. One is on-premises and other is cloud, right? So in order to install in on-premises, it's very tough. So it's better since we have it in a cloud. So let's make use of the cloud advantages. So first today, let me
Even this API Connect also has like the same features like transformations and security concepts like data power, Shikhar.
yes. Yeah, so yeah, in this also we can do XML to JSON, JSON to XML, different message format transformation. But in the projects, only I worked on few projects in the API Connect, right? Mainly this transformations and these things, even though we have those features, in most of the project we will keep APIs a very lightweight, which means in the API Connect we don't do transformation and everything, even though we have those features. So API Connect, only the scope of the API Connect is not to transform and everything, to expose services as APIs and API concept, right? Even though we have those features in the API Connect, we do in the project we don't use this API Connect for the transformation, heavy transformation, routing purpose, because we have other tools for these kind of things like IIB, data power, right? So that's why even though we have those features in the API Connect, but in the project we don't use this API Connect to to do transformations and routing purpose. Those things we don't implement, even though we don't have these features. Mainly in the project we keep APIs a very lightweight, which means API connect will be used as the API connect purpose only, like to export the business services as APIs and for the API complete life cycle. But still we have those features. I'll discuss every features in this train. Okay. So in the first session we completed about the API connect introduction. Now let's reconnect again, and I will tell you how do we launch this API connect in the IBM cloud. Okay, so already I launched API connect in my cloud. So I will ask you, I think Ashok, you joined from system computer, right? Laptop, right? Ashok or Lawal. I need any one of your help. So I'll show you how do we create API connect in the cloud. Okay. So let me stop and let me stop this, and again let's reconnect. Let's start the API connect instance creation in the cloud. Okay, please reconnect in the same link.